Good morning, everyone. We are starting a new topic this week about earth science. So we're going to do this interactivity. It's as sure as the tides. So it says, how are the tides related to our place in space? You use electricity every day in many different ways, from playing video games to lighting your room. Today, power companies generate most electricity by burning fossil fuels, which are non-renewable sources. But people hope to generate more and more electricity with renewable resources such as the sun, wind, flowing water, and tides. Tides are a more predictable source of energy than sun or wind. Why are tides such a predictable source of energy? Where does the pattern of tides come from? Discover the answer in this quest. So then there's a video here, and you're going to watch the video. And then after you're done watching the video, I'm not going to play it because it's going to be 4 minutes, but you have to play the whole video in order to get credit. Tides are the natural daily rise and fall of the ocean water. High tide occurs when the water reaches its highest level. Low tide occurs when the water reaches its lowest level. The difference between high and low tide is the tidal range. Different places on Earth have different tidal ranges. And we live by the lake, and the lake is so large that the lake actually has tides also. And you're going to watch this short video. It's 18 seconds. You need to watch the whole thing to get credit. Then you're going to answer this question. How do the tides change appearance of the shoreline in the video you just watched? And the answer is that at high tide, the shore is almost covered with seawater. As the tide changes, the water level drops and you can see more of the shore or coastline. Your quest will focus on the site of a tidal energy project in Eastport, Maine, where a power company has installed underwater turbines near the mouth of the Bay of Fundy. Click through the images to learn why a company would choose the Bay of Fundy as a site to generate electricity from tidal power. And you start on page 1. Eastport, Maine is a group of small islands near the border of the United States and Canada. Eastport is in the Bay of Fundy, a channel that opens up in the Atlantic Ocean. And you need to click through all of these. Even though I'm reading them to you, when you do the interactivity, you need to click through them yourself or it will not give you credit. The Bay of Fundy is famous for its enormous tidal range. The top image shows a high tide. The bottom image shows a low tide. So you can see the water is much higher here than it is over here. Look how tall the bridge is out of the water. The map shows the tidal ranges in the Bay of Fundy. In some locations, the difference between high and low tide can be up to 16 meters. Turbines, such as this one, are installed on the ocean floor. Currents from the rising and falling tides spin the turbines. This generates energy that can be transformed into electricity. The goal is to produce electricity for 2,000 homes. And then we're going to go to the next page. Before you begin the quest, consider your own experiences with tides. Discuss any patterns you've observed or summarize what you've learned about tides during this kickoff. So you can talk about this little lesson that we just did and what you learned about tides in the lesson, or you can talk about your own experience. I'd rather hear about your own experience if you've ever went to the beach and noticed that the water gets higher and lower with time. So just answer this question either with an answer about what you learned about tides from this actual activity or your own personal experience. But I'd rather hear about your personal experience. And then the last part is just the kickoff, which we're not going to do that part of it. This was just a little bit of learning about tides. And then you're going to be assigned other activities through the week that you can watch videos and answer polls, and you'll have one other big activity. So if you have any questions, as always, just get a hold of me.